But the moment you own your own reality, something powerful shifts. Something wakes up inside you. You begin to feel it. That spark of power you thought you lost. You realize you've never been powerless. You're not a victim of your past. You are not at the mercy of circumstance. You are and always have been the architect of your future. But to build that future, you must first stop lying to yourself. Stop saying you don't have time when you know how many hours disappear to scrolling, escaping, and numbing out. Stop saying you don't know how when deep down you haven't even tried. Stop saying it's too hard when others with less time, less money, fewer advantages have already proven it's possible. The difference between those who rebuild and those who remain stuck always comes down to ownership. Radical, unapologetic ownership. That means taking full responsibility, not just for your actions, but for your mindset, your standards, your energy, and your results. No more blaming, no more waiting, no more hoping life magically improves. Because it won't, not until you do. Let this be your wake-up call. See things as they are. That's fear. Not prettier than you wish they were. That's denial. See them clearly, because when you do, something inside you clicks back into alignment. You reclaim your power. You start to feel that energy building again, the same energy that once drove you, that once made you hungry, and when that energy returns, the rebuild begins. And it's already starting right now. Here's what most people never understand. Awareness means nothing without action. You can wake up, you can see the truth, admit the problem, and still stay exactly where you are. That's not growth. That's paralysis disguised as reflection. It feels productive, but it's not. It's just self-sabotage in a cleaner outfit. Because the real transformation doesn't begin when you simply recognize your reality. It begins when you make a non-negotiable decision that says, I will no longer live this way. I will not settle here another day. And as you say that to yourself, you can feel it, can't you? That small, powerful spark starting to rise again. That's your power returning. That's the ignition point, the spark that starts the rebuild. And let's be clear, rebuilding isn't about patching cracks. It's about demolition. It's about tearing down what's weak, what's fake, what's been holding you back, and constructing something unbreakable in its place, a new identity, a new standard, a new way of showing up. It's about refusing to coast, refusing to settle for average, refusing to live one more day beneath your potential. This is where the weak version of you dies, the version that chased comfort, that played it safe, that waited for permission. This is where you take back the wheel and start driving your life with intention, precision, and power. So wake up fully. No more half-living, no more hiding behind clever excuses. No more sleepwalking through potential. Take full, relentless ownership of your direction, because once you do, once you lock in that level of control, there's nothing, absolutely nothing you can't rebuild. The greatest barrier between you and the life you crave isn't your past, your bank account, or your circumstances. It's your belief system. The silent scripts running in your head every single day, the whispers that say, you're not enough. You're not ready. You're not like them. Those beliefs are the real enemy, and they've shaped your confidence, your habits, your decisions, every part of your life. But beliefs are not facts. They're stories. And stories can be rewritten As you begin to rewrite those stories, you choose right now to believe something new about yourself. You're already rewriting your future. When your mind changes, everything else follows. You'll freeze the moment. You'll pull back right when life is begging you to push harder. You'll settle for comfort when your soul is screaming for more. Every hesitation, every delay, every excuse comes down to one thing: your beliefs. Your beliefs are not facts, they're stories. Stories you've told yourself for so long they've become law in your mind. Every limitation you feel, every fear that holds you back, every doubt that drags you down. It's all built on a single thought you chose to repeat until it became part of who you think you are. And maybe you've never questioned that voice, the one that says, I've always struggled with money. I'll never get in shape. I've failed too many times to try again. But that voice isn't truth. It's programming. Lies dressed as logic. Mental walls built from repetition, not reality. And as long as you keep protecting those beliefs, you'll keep reliving the same story. The same results, the same ceiling on your potential, the same quiet frustration that whispers, you were meant for more. But here's what happens when you interrupt the pattern. When you stop, stand up, and finally ask, if that's not true, something inside you shifts. The fog lifts. You start to see just how much of your life has been shaped by limits that were never even real. Because when you begin to interrogate your own mind, something powerful happens. You take your power back. Every time you catch yourself saying, I can't, you now pause and challenge it. Is that truth or conditioning? Is that fear or familiarity? And as you begin to ask those questions, even quietly to yourself, you start to wake up to something bigger. You realize those walls around you were never made of stone. They were made of belief. When you break the belief, when you rip down the illusion, you just don't